Hello, I'm Laura Taylor, and I'm the coordinator for the Project Prevent Youth Coalition at Arkansas Children's Hospital. I want to talk to you today about advocacy as it relates to tobacco and nicotine use. As a member of your local SWAG team and Project Prevent, you have the power to support positive change in your schools and communities, and this short training should help you understand what it means to be an advocate and how you can apply your advocacy skills. In the next few minutes, you'll be able to understand the basic concepts of advocacy. You'll be able to identify the differences between advocating and lobbying. You'll be able to identify elements of successful and unsuccessful campaigns, understand and explain the benefits of tobacco and nicotine-free schools, and become equipped to advocate for tobacco and nicotine policies in your school. When the world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. This quote comes from Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani activist for female education. At the age of 17, she became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner. As an advocate, even one voice can make a difference. Advocacy can be defined as the act of speaking on behalf of or in support of another person, place, or thing. It can be used to promote social causes or change policies. You can even advocate for yourself. Have you ever been given a grade that you didn't think you deserved? Maybe you talked to the teacher to explain why you think your grade should have been higher. Or maybe you talked your parents into a shorter amount of time to be grounded. That's advocacy. There are lots of different ways to advocate. And if you're concerned about an issue, you can do things like share a story. You may say, my younger brother is in the 4th grade and he knows kids that are already vaping. Then you can advocate for awareness and education about e-cigarettes for kids in your elementary school. You can be the one to do the education yourself by telling other students that you're friends with, parents, teachers, or principals that maybe one Juul pod contains as much nicotine as an entire pack of cigarettes, and Puff Bar can be even more than that. A great piece of advocacy is offering solutions. You may talk to your principal or your school resource officer about what the school is doing when kids are caught vaping by saying something like, providing resources to help kids quit vaping is more beneficial than suspending them. And of course, you can always provide resources by letting them know things like quit kits and nicotine-free school toolkits are available for free. Lobbying is different from advocating in one very important way. Lobbying can be described as communicating with decision makers about existing or potential legislation and urging them to vote for or against an issue. So while advocating involves taking lots of different types of actions to bring about change, lobbying really is an attempt to influence decision makers to vote yes or no on a specific piece of legislation or a specific law. There are always things to consider when advocating for a cause. Will there be unintended consequences? Who will be affected by this change? What else will it change? Is there anyone that's being left out? Or is there any group that's benefiting from another group's loss? All of these things should be considered before you begin an advocacy plan. There are lots of different examples of successful and unsuccessful advocacy campaigns. For example, raising the age to 21 to be able to purchase tobacco products was adopted in Arkansas in September of 2019, and then nationwide that following December. There was a lot of good education that supported the importance of raising the age, and it passed with little opposition. But sometimes when you think you've won, it can feel like a loss. There was a flavor ban on e-cigarette pods that was meant to prevent kids from vaping. However, the ban wasn't for e-cigarettes in general, only the pods, leaving the door open for flavored disposable vape products like Puff Bar and many, many others. A big reason why this happened is because those in favor of flavored e-cigarettes advocated against the flavor ban with a lot of support for their campaign, We Vape, We Vote. Essentially, they were telling their legislators that if they voted for the flavor ban, then the people living in their areas would not vote for them in their next election. So let's talk about tobacco and nicotine-free schools. According to the Surgeon General's 2021 Reducing Tobacco Use Report, tobacco-free policies combined with community and mass media efforts can prevent tobacco use by 20 to 40% among teenagers. Education and enforcement of policies will be the most effective method to prevent young people from using nicotine products. So there are a couple of great toolkits available on the Project Prevent website. The Arkansas Department of Health and the American Heart Association have both created great guides for school. Each of those can be found under the Resources tab on the Project Prevent website. It would be a great thing to share with your principals and superintendents. Now, when advocating for tobacco and nicotine-free school policies, here are a few things to keep in mind. First of all, know the rules. What are the laws around and policies around tobacco for your school? Educate others about the rules. Remember, rules can only be followed if they're clearly understood. Enforcement of the rules is really important, and the consequences should be the same for all individuals at your school. And then, of course, help those who break the rules. Quitting a nicotine addiction is the best way to ensure that the policy will not be violated again by the same person. As I mentioned, the toolkits are available on our website, but there's also lots of other great resources like our new Quit Kits that include this You Can Quit Vaping card that will link students to helpful apps and texting programs to help them quit. There's also an interactive program from MD Anderson called Aspire that will help students understand the consequences of vaping. Tobacco and nicotine-free schools focus on policy enforcement and support for quitting. Both are essential to addressing the problem of teen vaping. Remember, the Project Prevent website has tons of free resources at projectpreventar.org, and you and your friends can follow us on social media at Project Prevent AR. Please feel free to contact us with any questions that you may have. Thank you and good luck.